Hey, want to get better? Stick around. Welcome back to 5 Play Friday, the show where we analyze, get video, and get better as basketball officials. Greetings, everyone. My name is Greg Austin with A Better Official. We craft video to help basketball officials get better, and one of the ways we do that is we look at plays every Friday. And today we're going to get started with, what are we going to get started with? A You Make the Call play. What do you have on this play?
Forsyth beats it. His floater high off the glass and no good. Who's got it is going back to Hoover.
Brown changed that shot just a little bit. Made him shoot a little higher on the glass. Ball tipped out of bounds, goes over to Hoover. The two guys with 4 fouls. Back in here for Dale for the last 151.
That's a great point. About to go high off the glass as Dale nearly comes away with a turnover. There's going to be a backcourt violation as London's foot was in the backcourt there for a second. So Dale.
London was in the front court, and when he jumped up, caught it, landed with 1 foot in the backcourt. Yep.
That's a tough break there for Hoover, but a nice.
All right, backcourt violation is ruled on the play. What do you have? Is this call correct, incorrect? Put your ruling in the comments below and stick around to the end of the video. We will analyze all of the things on play number 1. But with that, let's move on to play number 2. So often in games, we see players go to the floor hard and the crew does not have a clue necessarily about what happened because they were observing other things at the time. Our lead official does a great job in this scenario of identifying an intentional foul for excessive contact, right? Why? Because they were looking at the play, right? If we're looking at a play, we are so much better as basketball officials, right? We'd want to notice in this situation, are we allowing that center official to handle the shooter action? We're not watching where the shooter is, where the ball is, etc. We're aware that a try has gone up and that we're anticipating rebounding action. We have to find our rebounders as lead. Right? Our lead official does a great job of doing that. We have a hard foul, throw to the floor, and they come in with a ruling of excessive contact, intentional foul, takes care of business at the spot, identifies who our shooter is going to be, right? We need to know that and what's going to happen next. So a lot of great habits and fundamentals on this play. If we're observing this play, right, we notice that either of the other officials, were they aware, right? What's everybody looking at, etc.? Let's take a look at that. Right? So we have a spread offense situation. Try goes up. The center is responsible for that. Our two off-ball officials need to anticipate rebounding action. If we go to here, right, this is obviously a competitive matchup. This is going to be a competitive matchup. We want to be aware of this player crashing as well. All of those things are what we want to look at. And we see the extended arms on the push to the floor, obvious foul, obvious excessive contact, right? I'm sure those players had been engaged all game long, and so we really want to be aware of what's going on around them, right? So a great example of officiating rebounding action. If we are observing players in rebounding action, the game gets so much simpler. And so we appreciate that clip. If you want to supply a clip to 5 Play Friday, there is a link on the screen. There is a link in the show description. There is a link in the first pinned comment. And I'll also put one up above. Hold on a second. Hey, hold up. Allow me to thank our tremendous show supporters, Herb Hahn, Joseph Del Colo, Marco Hernandez, Darwin Sonata, and Phil Harmonic. Much appreciated, much love. You want to support the show? You can always buy us a coffee. I'll make sure there's a link down in the show description below. I'll put it in the first pinned comment, and where else? I'll put it up above. Hey, much appreciated and much love. Let's move on now and look at our next play. All right, a pass crash play with bench decorum issues, right? A point of emphasis here this year, bench decorum. We have many opportunities on this play to address the behavior of the coach and the assistant coach, who are basically disputing the veracity of the calling official's call by going onto the court, gesticulating and hand movements, etc. It goes unaddressed by the crew. This is behavior that needs to be addressed. NFHS says this is a point of emphasis, right? It should be top of mind for all officials on this play. Now, it's a pass crash play. Did the official get the play right? Did the official get the play wrong? Does it affect whether or not we give the coach the ability to come onto the court and gesticulate in a disapproving manner? No, it does not. We could have gotten this play extremely wrong. This is behavior that needs to be addressed. That's what jumps off on, and it's easy to address. Coach, you've been warned. I cannot have you on the court. You need to respect your coaching box. We may have mentioned that in our pregame conversation, right? Just simple warning, bench warning, administrative, put it in the book. The coach is on notice, etc. That's what? This behavior is unacceptable. Behavior is unacceptable. It's as simple as that. You can disagree with the call all you want. It's unacceptable behavior and must be addressed. We can do that in one of three fashions. This action by the coach is one that is not going to get the soft warning. At minimum, this is going to be an administrative bench warning for decorum violation. Okay, so now let's look at the play itself. Is this defender legal? Should this be an offensive foul? Do we have embellishment by our defender, which I so often point out? Player drives. That player is legal and was displaced by this player. That is an offensive foul. It should have been ruled as such. It was ruled a block for whichever reason. We decide that the throw-in spot should be on the opposite side as opposed to, do we designate the spot? Do we take care of business at the spot? Maybe we could improve that. Our non-calling official has an opportunity to address the behavior of the coach and chooses not to, regardless of whether the officials get a call correct on the court. Bench decorum is a point of emphasis and must be addressed in our game. Sometimes when we know that we may have made an improper ruling, we're going to give the offending player more leeway as we were maybe unsure of a call, etc. But certain behaviors absolutely need to be addressed, and that is one we have on this play. It's a point of emphasis this year in high school. It's a simple thing to do. And the first step, though, is recognizing this behavior needs to be addressed. And when we do, we're way ahead of the game. Let's look at our next play. All right, these actions by the player who scores the goal rise to the level of a delay of game warning. After the goal is scored, they contact the basketball in a fashion that does that enhance the ability for the throwing team to gain control of the basketball or deter, right? This is what we need to be aware of. We note also that the defense is setting up for a press. These are all factors in us making a determination about whether a delay of game warning is in this instance appropriate. If a player contacts the basketball here, simply contacts it or grabs it as it goes through and releases it, have they committed something that rises to the level of a delay of game warning? In this instance, the action definitely delays the ability for the team to gain control of the basketball for the resulting throw-in and gives an advantage to the defensive team, which is setting up for a press situation, right? This is an easy delay of game warning. It is a team warning for delay. If there had previously been a team warning for delay, this action would rise to the level of a technical foul. A team technical for delay, 2 free throws to any player or eligible substitute, and a division line throw-in opposite the table. But we need to be aware in this instance of whether our player has taken an action which rises to that level. In my judgment, that is exactly what we have on this play. This is something that needs to be addressed, and it's simply addressed with a delay of game warning. Delay of game warning is a big production, right? It's not a, hey, delay of game warning, we casually mention it, right? Everybody knows. Everybody knows. In the book, delay of game warning, White, coach, you have received a delay of game warning. We communicate that in some fashion. Partners, hey, delay of game warning on White. Everybody knows. It's not a subtle thing. Hey, that's a delay of game warning at the spot. No, we need to sort of broadcast, make a production out of it so that everybody knows. It's unacceptable behavior, or it's not unacceptable. It just comes with it an action of providing the team with a delay of game warning. It's not a big deal, something we should be very comfortable doing when it is appropriate. But with that, let's move on. Let's move on and look at our next play. All right. So a backcourt violation is ruled. What do you have? Legal play, backcourt violation, etc. But what this also brings up is new this year. The administration of throw-ins is a point of emphasis, right? So especially early in the season, do we want to be really good and on point with throw-in situations? One thing that I notice from a lot of officials is the absence of designating the spot, right? Designating the spot is missing from the habits of calling officials. It's just an assumed, I'll call the violation and you'll assume where the spot is. We need to be good, and this is our chance early in the season to be very meticulous and work as a crew to get these things right. So a backcourt violation is ruled. Was this a backcourt violation? Let's look at that, and then let's look at the habits and fundamentals for the resulting throw-in. Do we have the elements to have a backcourt violation on this play? Let's take a look. Well, let's first of all take a look at our lead official in this instance is too close to the court when they are working in this situation. And as a result, they are doing what? They are officiating, like as I like to say, in the well. If you are looking down and officiating down in a spot in front of you, you will miss obvious things. This player obviously travels because we have no perspective on the play. We're not going to be good the closer we get to a play. We need a bigger perspective. And do we have team control in the front court? Yes, we have team control on the court, in the front court. Player tries to go between his legs. Does our defender contact the basketball? Not sure completely. I could see us passing on the first action. Ultimately, they do not contact the basketball. This should have been a backcourt violation here. We also have a situation where we have 3 lines at the division line. We have to give ourselves time to process, make sure that we're dealing with the correct line. That's definitely a thing. But we have a player in this instance who picks up the ball. They have front court status. Their teammate has front court status when they contact the basketball and they carry the ball into the backcourt. They have committed a backcourt violation by rule. Now, new this year, we have 4 designated throw-in spots in the front court. A backcourt violation will always be brought in at one of the 4 spots. We need to designate the spot. If we're working as a crew and our partner designates a spot that's not one of the 4 spots, maybe as a crew member, I could say, hey, partner, that's one of the 4. We'll take it here, etc. Right? Or if we're in a crew of 3, hey, that's one of the 4. Let's take it here. But we don't do that don't designate the spot. It's under assumption. It's very casual. Is this a substitute? It's two players confused. Oh, one player seemed to be at the 28-foot line. Yeah. So this play just gives us the opportunity to look at the habits and fundamentals. New this year, front court throw-ins, 4 spots, backcourt violations always result in a throw-in at one of the 4 throw-in spots. Because a backcourt violation by rule, even if it was simply a player stepping on the division line, by rule, it's in the rule. It results in a front court throw-in to the opponent. The 4 throw-in spots would come into play. But again, it's a chance for us to examine our habits and fundamentals as we go onto the court, designate the spot. It makes the game crisper, and it's our responsibility as officials. Okay, let's look at our next play. All right, I've included this play simply for shot clock states. We've got action in the front court. Things are going on. Loose ball on the court. Ball's batted to the end line. What should the shot clock read in this situation? Right? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Is the shot clock correct? And do we know what number it should be in this situation? This is a very unusual play, but before we're going to inbound the ball in a shot clock state, in any situation, we're going to have to ask ourselves, is the shot clock correct in this situation, right? So fast forward, we have a try for goal. There is no team control. Neither team establishes on the court. And so even though there's, maybe a 10-second expiration of time between when the ball contacted the ring, we need to know there's an absence of team control as a result. The ball is batted out of bounds. The ball should be given to White here for an end line throw-in, and the shot clock should read, in this instance, 35 seconds, using National Federation of High School Basketball rules. 35 seconds. I think in almost all instances, even if you have a situation, actually, I don't know the answer to that. Here in California, we have a full reset. Would we reset to the lower number in this situation in your state, since we have a backcourt throw-in? It's an intriguing question. I don't know the answer. But that's just a play to look at for if you are in a shot clock state. We need to be aware of what the shot clock should read in this situation. It's an unusual play, but that's our job, is to know that kind of stuff. Hey, back at the start of the show, on play number 1, we had a backcourt ruling. Let's review all of the things on play number 1.
Forsyth beats it. His floater high off the glass and no good. Who's got it is going back to Hoover.
Brown changed that shot just a little bit. Made him shoot a little higher on the glass. Ball tipped out of bounds, goes over to Hoover. The 2 guys with 4 fouls. Back in here for Dale for the last 151.
That's a great point. About to go high off the glass as Dale nearly comes away with a turnover. There's going to be a backcourt violation as London's foot was in the backcourt there for a second. So Dale.
London was in the front court, and when he jumped up, caught it, landed with 1 foot in the backcourt. Yep.
That's a tough break there for Hoover, but a nice call there by the ref.
All right, so we have a backcourt ruling on this play, right? Backcourt rulings can be tough. One of the keys, though, is we have to have all of the information on a play. If we are potentially distracted, as our center official is on this play, we may not have all of the information we need. And one of the things about backcourt violations is it requires information over a period of time. It's easy if a player steps out of bounds, they are holding the ball and their foot contacts the end line. That's out of bounds. Easy. We don't need to know whether there was team control, what their status was prior to stepping out of bounds, etc. In this instance, we have a player whose status is critical for making the correct ruling on this play. What is the status of the player when they jump and catch the basketball? That's critical, because then they subsequently, after catching the ball, land in the backcourt. If they had front court status, then this would be a backcourt violation. In the absence of front court status, this is a legal play. If we watch our player number 5 here, what is their status right now? They are in the backcourt. By rule, they are contacting the backcourt. Player jumps. What is their status? They are in the backcourt by rule. This player is in the backcourt when they land. What is their status? They are in the backcourt by rule. There has been no violation on this play. If we look at our calling official, they are craning their neck to see what happened on the play. This is key to the whole equation. We don't have the full picture. We see a player right, if we go back here, if we see the player, when they jump in the air, like if we look at a player right here, it's easy for us to think, oh, that player's in the front court. They jumped from the front court. And that's sort of the situation our calling official is in, right? So in this situation, a great habit and fundamental would be, if this is an obvious backcourt violation, my crew is going to help me get it. I was obviously distracted with the on-ball matchup in the backcourt, and I don't have complete information on the play. In the absence of complete information, what should I do? Should I guess? Right? So this is a legal play by rule. This player jumped from the backcourt, caught the ball in the air, and landed in the backcourt. They could jump from the front court, catch the ball in the air, and land in the front court. What they cannot do is jump from the front court, catch the ball in the air, and land in the backcourt. So this is a legal play by rule. Gives us something to think about in this situation when we know we don't have all of the information. Should we guess? Should we use our intuitive skills to try to put 2 and 2 together on the play? Sometimes we do that on the court, but it's going to put us in a weak position in terms of ensuring that all of our rulings are accurate. Hey, thanks for joining us today, sticking around to the end of the video. As always, if this is the video content you find valuable, a great time to do all of the things. Hit the like button. That's so dynamic in helping the video get in front of more basketball officials so we can all get better together. Like and subscribe, right? We go live every Friday during the basketball season. Join us for the live stream. Put your voice in the game. And that way we can really all get better together. Do allow me a moment to thank our tremendous show supporters who help fuel our broadcast. Herb Hahn, Joseph Del Colo, Marco Hernandez, Darwin Sonata, and Phil Harmonic. Much appreciated, much love. You want to buy us a coffee and support the show? I'll put a link in the show description, in the first pinned comment, and also, no. Up above. Awesome. Tremendous. So we had a couple of backcourt plays in the show today. I've got a video about backcourt plays. There's a link to the course on backcourt rules and restrictions. Check that out, and we'll see you in the very next video. Take care, everybody.